Okay, so why did God create death?
Okay.
Because there were people in the Bible that just went away.
Right.
And now they were dead.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Okay.
Like whoever that went away in a chariot.
Yeah, Elijah.
And then there was another one, right?
Yeah, Enoch.
Enoch.
It just says God just took him.
Yeah.
Like
and
he
then,
just ceased to be.
And then Jesus just floated away and disappeared or whatever happened.
Well,
right?
But he died, remember?
Yeah, well, he died, but he didn't die again.
Yeah, then he ascended.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did his one death thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So why doesn't God do that for everyone? Why doesn't death just show up and be like, hey, man, you got to go? Like, why aren't you ever at an amusement park and 25 people from different places all over their park instead of crashing in a roller coaster just all get taken to heaven at the same time?
Okay. I got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
Like, hey, you got to come with me now. You're dead now.
You're dead. You're dead now. Okay. So, there's a lot of passages there's a few passages at least that speaks about death in the Bible and our times, right? So, for example, a pretty famous passage is Ecclesiastes 3, verse 2, where it says that, I'll start with verse 1. There's an appointed time for everything, a time for every affair under the heavens, a time to give birth and a time to die, a time to plant, a time to uproot the plant. So there's appointed times, there's time to give birth, there's times to die. Psalm 139, verse 16 speaks about that there's, that we have our appointed times here on this earth. In other words, all our days, it says all our days are ordained for me. And so, in other words, that the Lord has established days for us. Hebrews 9, verse 27 speaks about that every man must die once, that he has an appointed time to die. And so there's these passages that speaks about this appointed time. Acts 17, where Paul is speaking before a crowd in Athens, he speaks about the fact that God has established our days or our locations and our times. So
okay.
Where we will be born, when we will be born, that kind of thing. And so in saying all that, I think that we can look at this and go, okay, so there's obviously death there. God's created our moments, our times. We're limited. We're not living forever like Adam and Eve were intended to, and the rest of human race was intended to. So there's become a final thing. So it's not that just God created death, just, all right, you're going to die. It's that this was the consequence of our own disobedience.
Okay.
And so, because when we died spiritually, it was, and therefore all of creation fell. So not just humanity, but creation itself. It led to the fact that, all right, we are not going to be able to live forever now. So the natural consequence of that was a physical death.
Okay.
Because with creation fallen, now it's opened up things, and our own bodies fallen. Now it's opened up things like sickness and death. And then, of course, and then we make choices and we make decisions that can lead to our own deaths or to the deaths of others. And then there's sickness that's come in.
Isn't every decision that we make leading us toward our death?
I don't know if every decision
because we all die,
or is leading us toward our death. Because we can have a deep philosophical discussion on this. I would rather say that they're choices that are leading to life.
But we all die.
We do. But we can die.
Are we having a correlation versus causation debate right now?
Maybe. Yes.
Okay.
All right. But anyway, regardless. All right. But I do think so. All right, so therefore sins enter the world, death has had to enter the world, so death has become this natural consequence of our disobedience. But I do think you bring up a good point, like, all right, what up with Enoch and Elijah?
Yeah.
Like,
what up?
Like, why didn't they have their moments of death? Like, if, in other words, if all the things that I read here are true, there's appointed times for our days and to die, why didn't they? Okay, well,
maybe they got stabbed by the angel that came to get them.
I'm taking you
right
now.
after they got past the cloud. Yeah.
So they were all happy, and then all of a sudden,
like, all right.
This took a turn.
Yeah, so, everyone's like, oh, what?
Rain blood. Yeah. All right. No, but all right. So, but speaking about Enoch and Elijah, because it is interesting. There's a passage in Revelation, chapter 1, or sorry, Revelation chapter 11, and it's a pretty. It's one of these really interesting passages, and no one is completely sure of how to fully interpret it correctly. Okay. And so, but what we know is that in Revelation chapter 11, that there are two witnesses. What?
Every time you go read from Revelation, you're like, yeah, we don't really know what the hell this means, but we just believe it anyway.
It's crazy stuff sometimes. And so, all right. Here's what we know. Okay. Is that God is going to send two witnesses, okay, to the earth. They're going to prophesy, okay, for 1,260 days.
Okay.
All right. And this is why it kind of gets crazy, right? Because it says, if anyone wants to harm them, fire comes from their mouths and consumes their enemies. So,
okay.
All right. They have the authority to close up the sky so that it does not rain during the days of their prophecy, which sounds a lot like Elijah, actually. That's what Elijah did. He closed up the heavens from it raining when he was here. And then it says they will also have power over the waters to turn them into blood, to strike the earth with every plague whenever they want. And that sounds a lot like Moses, to what he did in Exodus. Mm-hmm. And so the prophets, people think of Elijah, they think of Moses. They were the two that are seen at the Mount of Transfiguration. It's Moses and it's Elijah. Okay?
Yeah, but the other one was Enoch.
Yeah. And
what did he do?
Right. So, yeah, Enoch, all we know about Enoch is that he walked with God. He was close with God, then all of a sudden he
Boring. He wasn't shooting fire out of his mouth.
No, okay, but hold on. Actually, though, I think it's fair to say that the two witnesses may not be Elijah and Moses, but may be Elijah and Enoch.
Okay.
Because
they're going to die in Revelation.
Correct. Because in verse 7 it says, when they finish their testimony, the beast that comes up out of the abyss, this sounds crazy, but anyway, the beast that comes up out of the abyss will make war on them, conquer them, and kill them. So they will die. Okay, and so you're just looking at me very disturbed.
I don't want to.
All right, here's all I'm saying is it's very possible that Enoch and Elijah actually will die. The Lord will send them back as two witnesses.
And this is common. Everybody thinks this.
Yeah, so the debate really is over, are the witnesses Elijah and Moses based upon the authority that they have?
Okay.
Or is it Elijah and Enoch based upon the fact that those were the two that have never died?
Okay.
And so they will come back at this point and die. Because if death was appointed once for every man and they've not died, this would be their point in time to die.
So they're just in heaven right now.
Hanging out. Right.
Hanging out.
Right.
Waiting for God to send them back to earth so they can get eaten by a demon.
I don't know if eaten by a demon is the right phrase, but yeah. But to die.
To die by the hands of a beast from hell.
Right. That's fair.
Okay. So,
yeah.
Okay. So they're just up in heaven being like, God, why couldn't I have just died? You dick.
Well, no, they're not saying that, Nate. So,
I mean,
that's what you might say, but that's not what they're. No. So if this is really wild for us, but it's kind of like
I thought not dying was awesome. Me too, man.
Right. Now we're gonna have to go die. Yeah. Can you imagine like what would happen when they first? They were like, "Wait, is this us?"
Yeah. Right.
They're hearing Jesus tell this to John, and they're like, "Wait,
hang on,
what? Huh?" So it's very possible that it's Enoch and Elijah, and so, but for them, they're not like fearing death because they know what's on the other side of death.
Yeah, they're very comfortable with it at this point.
Yeah, but they also know the worthiness of the Lord, so they would gladly go do it for him.
Don't worry. It'll take 2 seconds.
Well, they're going to have a pretty cool run, though, of what they do for,
yeah, whatever.
Days. All right.
Okay.
So, anyways.
Don't like that.